Gillen has been a mentor. I was fortunate to go to Nazareth High School. I met him at Jack Curran's basketball camp as a rising freshman, and from there on we had a great relationship. I started going to Nazareth. I got my freshman schedule, and I guess where I find out who my religion teacher was. It was P. Gillen. We had an Old Testament reading, and one day we were in the classroom, and he's talking about the book of Job. And in the book of Job, he's talking about how Job was this fantastic guy, that God was always challenging him. He took away his fatted calf. He gave him skin sores. He took away, so he burned down his house. But Coach Gillen goes, Job, what a great guy. He never lost his faith. He never backed down. He always kind of kneeled down and prayed because he knew that God was with him. So from the book of Job, we're sitting there like all kind of starry-eyed and going, oh my God. And then all of a sudden he goes, one thing, gentlemen, to be a good Catholic, you got to go to church. To go to heaven, you got to pray every day. So we're all jazzed up. At the end of class, we're busting out the doors. It was like unbelievable. It was like a halftime speech of the championship game. We're ready to take on the world. So every day, when we're coaching, when we're getting taught by Coach, it was just an awesome experience. And when we're on the basketball court, he just gave us a lot of great enthusiasm and dedication. And every day, when we're doing offensive improvement and we're just working hard, he's always encouraging us. He's just that kind of mentor that got me into coaching, and how much I really appreciated him kind of giving me the values of being a great person and getting into this coaching field. And I can't thank you so much, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John, for the very kind words and introduction. First, I'd like to congratulate Tim McAleer and Don Kent for their award tonight. Two tremendous individuals. Tim, a great official. I never had him, but my thing with official, just get me to the foul line, you know what I mean? I'll be happy. But Tim was a great official. Don Kent is a great American. He talks very well. He's the Queen's English. We coached against him. He was at Clancy, and I was at Nazareth in Brooklyn. And I couldn't get a day. I was really struggling. I was on lastchance.com trying to get it down. Couldn't get it. When Donnie introduced me to a young lady, I got distracted for a couple of weeks. He beat me by 30, and he smiled, and the girl said goodbye. So whatever it takes. Donnie's a nice smile, but he's a bottom line guy. But he's a terrific guy. I want to introduce a couple of real people. Before I begin, I just want to thank Tobin Anderson for inviting me to speak at this tip-off dinner. Certainly a privilege and an honor to be here tonight, and I want to congratulate the players, the coaches, the fans, the parents, the administrators, the people that work on stats, the managers, all part of having a great success. So 4 years, and as you mentioned before, 15 and 14. The years before that, right, the team was trying hard, but only won 5 games, 2 years in a row. Now 15 and 14, and they get to the finals of the tournament. Next year, 21-11. Co-champs regular season gets to the finals again of the tournament. 2 years ago, they go, 27-5, and they win the regular season and the tournament, go to the NCAA first time ever. You do the first time ever, that's tremendous. Last year, I believe 28-6, went to the Elite Eight, won the regular season again, and won the tournament again. So he's an unbelievable job. I think 55-11, in the last 2 years. That's awesome. And I met Tobin years ago. The 5-star camp, was tremendously impressed with him. He can coach anywhere. He's a terrific coach, and I was fortunate to coach different places, but a tremendous coach. And I was watching practice today, and I was very impressed with the players. They played very hard. A lot of young guys and some veterans, and the young guys are trying to learn from but they're a very impressive team. And I think, Fran Vasella is a great guy. I know Fran's worked with him this summer at the Under Armour camp, and with ESPN, I work with CBS Sports Network. He's a big shot. I'm like a middle shot. He's a big guy. But my thing is, they won 27. St. Thomas Aquinas, we might never, ever lose. So don't take that for granted. But certainly a privilege to be with you today. I want to introduce a couple of people, if I may. Donnie mentioned a couple of names, but the gentleman that I worked for at this basketball camp, 5-star camp for a long time. I lost about 5 years of my life working on the asphalt courts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 110 degrees. I had blisters. I looked like something that cat dragged in from the cold, when I got home to see my wife. But I owe him some money because I took a Reese cup from the canteen one time. You know what I mean? It was a Reese cup, and I had it, and I said, just put it to my account. But he's a businessman, and a lot of interest in the compound interest and tri-count interest. So I owe him about $10,400. So Luke Klein, if you would stand up, please. Stand up, please. And his son, Luke Klein, 5-star camp, president, CEO, and he would two of my former players are here beside John Dwinell. One gentleman, he's from the Bronx, New York, not too far away, St. Nicholas at Talentine High School. And I told him, hey, you come to VMI, Virginia Military down south. I says, they talk a little funny, but I talk a little funny too. I said, but you'll get to know it. You got free white pants, free haircuts, you know what I mean? You get a chance to run around, you have a gun, you can shoot a little bit, shoot the air. You love it there. And after about a week, you get in a rat line, you have a shaved head, he's walking around, he's got a little Bible, some guy about 4'2" screaming at him, what's a rat Bible, who's the president, where did General Patton live? His head was spinning, but he scored over 1,000 points, had a great career. Now he works for IBM. He's one of the vice presidents, travels all over the world for IBM. John Good. John would stand up. Played for me at Nazareth High School. I coached him as a junior, and we were a young team, and then they got rid of me, and I went up to college, and the next year they won the city championship. So that shows you what my impact. But he was a terrific player. He only shot when he had it, so that was good. He was a pathological shooter. He used to steal the ball from his teammates and then shoot. He was a terrific shooter. He got a couple of sons that are good players. Dennis Kelly. Donnie mentioned Jack Powers. Jack is a legend. I worked for him many years ago at camp out at St. Regis out in Long Island. And he's a legend. I mean, he's in a lot of Hall of Fame. He should be in the New York City Hall of Fame right
we'll
now.
Get him there. We'll get him there.
Coach, he's a great AD. Worked for the NIT committee for a long time. Took teams all over the world, traveling the NIT All-Stars. But a wonderful person. A great credit to basketball. Jack Powers.
Jackie.
Anita, he's a great recruiter. He overachieved. He's terrific. Jack's a great guy. And one last guy, and then I'll get to my main talk. A couple of people said, hey, I got to get home and see Law and Order reruns, so I can't talk too long. So see that. But this great gentleman was my assistant for 6 years. 1 year at Xavier, Cincinnati, where I coached as a head coach. And then we went to Providence College. We were fortunate. The best time I ever coached was '97. We got to the Elite Eight at Providence. He recruited 4 of the guys. He did a great job. 1 year at Virginia, and then did a wonderful job at Manhattan College. Brought him to the NCAA a couple of times. Beat big teams there in the NCAA tournament. Beat Florida, I think. Florida, with all those. Billy Donovan, who's a legend now. Bobby beat him. He's a great coach and did a great job. Seton Hall helped build them up a little bit. Now Kevin Willis taking off and doing a great job there now. But Bobby was a guy, he could sell snow to the Eskimos. I mean, he could great recruiter. And a couple of guys we couldn't, different schools I was at, they wouldn't let him in. He says, Coach, we've got to change the admission standards. What do you mean? He says, well, we should have another test. He says, what the test is? Well, let's give him the rock test. I said, what is that? Here's the rock. Now, which hand is the rock in? If you get this, you're in. I said, guys, we can't bring the rock test. He says, all right. A couple of guys we had from Brooklyn, where I'm from, no offense to anybody else from Brooklyn. He says, they don't trust you in Brooklyn. So I take your 4 guesses, they don't, so can't get it. He said, all right, this guy, you can't pass the rock test, so we're going to give him the boulder test. So you bring in a big
What's
rock,
the boulder test?
Big boulder. Which hand is the boulder in? Now, if you don't know where the boulder is, you're in trouble. But then we come back 2 weeks later. Bobby did a great job, terrific coach, wonderful guy. Bob Gonzalez, stand up, we got to go.
Oh my God.
I appreciate it. I think the most important word in the whole world is the word attitude. You change your attitude, you change your performance. Ordinary people do extraordinary things every day with a great attitude. There's a gal named Shelley Mann. You might not have heard of her. She was born with a bad foot. She had like a deformed foot. She had an operation. The doctor did the operation. Says, well, I don't know how well she'll walk after the operation. Well, I don't know how well she walked either, but she sure could run. And she won a medal in the Olympics, Shelley Mann. So she had great talent, she had a great attitude. She wouldn't let a deformity set her back. Another guy who had a great attitude was a guy named Jack Robertson, not the baseball player. This guy was from Lima, Ohio. And he was a paraplegic, which means that he has legs, but he couldn't use the legs, he was powerless. He swam the English Channel. English Channel is 22 miles long, 22 miles, rough, tough water, and he had a boat going next to him. He swam, he went all the way, didn't get half a mile from shore, then he had to pull up and got him out of the boat. All right, just missed making it. But he had a great attitude. All right, to try to swim the English Channel, right, as a paraplegic is unbelievable. And he came just so close, just missed it. But he had a great attitude. A couple of famous people that had a great attitude. Napoleon. When he was a military ruler in France, he took the word "I can't" out of the French dictionary. He says, we can do it, we will do it. So Napoleon was a great leader, but he had a great attitude. Another guy had a great attitude was a guy named Reggie Jackson. Those who follow baseball, I'm a baseball fan, he was called Mr. October. So he played for the Oakland A's, won world championships with the Yanks, all right? And inside his first ring he got for the Oakland A's was the letters S plus S equals success. S plus S equals sweat plus sacrifice equals success. So he was a great athlete, a stud, a strong, he was a tremendous player. To hit a baseball so hard, all right, coming in that fast, but he had a great attitude. He knew you had to sweat, you had to sacrifice, even with all his talent, all right, to be successful. He had a great attitude. Another guy had a great attitude, it was John Kennedy. That's not a political statement. 1960, he said to John Kennedy, he said, John, all right, you want to go for the presidential nomination of the Democratic Party. You want to try to be president. Is that right? He says, yes. He said, John, there's no way you're ever going to be president of the United States right now in 1960. You're too young. You're a Catholic, you talk funny, there's no shot, you have no shot. So John F. Kennedy said a lot of famous things, and the thing that he said I like best, when they said to him, no, go for second place, go for treasurer, go for secretary. He says, no. He says, if you settle for second place, when first place is available, you have the same tendency to settle for second place the rest of your life. When you settle for second place, when first place is available, you have the same, tendency to settle for second place the rest of your life. So he went on to go for the Democratic presidential nominee, won it, in my opinion, became an excellent president. Another guy had a great attitude was Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, he says, whatever your role in life, do your role, whatever it is, do it the best of your ability. If you're a street sweeper, go down the street and sweep it as clean as you can, do it as best you can, all right? So whoever walks down the street, hey, this guy, street sweep, did an unbelievable job. Because that's your role right now, but hopefully that's going to change and you do better. So Martin Luther King was a brilliant guy, a great leader, but he had a great attitude. He knew you had to do the best whatever you do. And I have some things that I talked about to be successful, a couple of principles. And I was fortunate to have great players, great assistants, and great players like John Good and Dennis in high school, and Gonzo as an assistant. And I learned a lot at 5-star camp with Will Klein, Howie Garfinkel, Lord of mercy on. But I had some things that I put together as principles of success, to be successful. Hopefully it applies in sports. Maybe it might even come into a little bit, outside your life. First thing is dream big. We don't dream big enough. I think it's important to go for the top. Try to be the best you can be. So last year, St. Thomas Aquinas did an unbelievable job, got to the Elite Eight. Hey, let's go for the top. Go for the top. That's where, even if you don't get there, you're still up there with the winners. You're still up with the big guys and the big girls. Go, try to be the best. Because too often we let people talk us out of things. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're not good enough. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. They told me that. I didn't do much, but I did a couple of things. They're a lot better than the guys that say you're not smart enough. You're not talented enough. All right, whatever it is, you're a guy or a gal, you're not pretty enough, you're not this or that. Forget that. Don't listen. Don't let people talk you out of things. So you dream big. Go for the top. And if you don't make it, you're still up there with the big persons that are successful. Secondly, you got to work really hard. Whatever you do, all right, the dreaming and the working go hand in hand. I saw this St. Thomas Aquinas guys, they work their brains out today. So if they dream big and listen to the coaches and keep working, all right, those two things go hand in hand. Next thing is you got to be disciplined. Whatever your profession, whatever your business, you got to stick to the fundamentals. Stick with it. Don't try to go too far outside the realm of discipline, that's for sure. You got to handle success. Last year, right, 28-6, great record, okay? But hey, this year you're 0-0, and everybody's got a big target on your back, so you got to be ready every night. So handle success, got to handle failure. You're knocked on the ground. All right, when I was at VMI, I thought my middle name was No. You want to come to VMI? No. Free haircuts, no. White pants, no. Nice shoes, no. But you got to keep getting up. You got to handle success, handle failure. Another thing it's important that you do in doing things is you got to communicate. You got to talk to people. If you're having a bad day, you're having trouble with something, you got to communicate. As a head coach at Virginia and Providence and Xavier, we had 3 or 4 assistants. We had secretaries. We had trainers. We had strength coach. You got to communicate. Talk to people. If you have a problem, let them know. Communication is so important. Another thing is important, another principle is unselfishness. No man or woman is an island. You got to share credit. Tobin did an unbelievable job. 4 years he's been here. He didn't do it by himself. He had great administrative help. He had great Jerry as an AD. He had people supporting him, fans that are here today, people on the board of directors here. So you can't do it by yourself. You share credit, your assistants, your people that help you, the people that do the stats, the managers, whatever it is, strength people that help you with that. So it's important, I think, that you share credit, which Tobin certainly does. Another thing important in life to be, so you got to be confident. You got to be confident. Right? You know, we played, when I was at Xavier, we played Indiana. Right? We played in a neutral site, Indianapolis, Indiana. That was nice. Yeah, the Hoosier Dome. It was like 41,000 people and 40,980 had red sweaters, red shirts. That's great. So we're playing Bobby night, you know what I mean? and up there, and we got a few Xavier fans that had a few drinks and got lost on a business trip and they were in the stands. But, you know, we played. But you got to believe you can win. You know, and unfortunately, we played against everybody. You know, against a lot of these great coaches, you know, and we played against Coach K. When he got into the Hall of Fame, they sent me a replica of his trophy. They said, you were a big part of Mike Krzyzewski's success. He beat you so many times. We want you to share it. We got lucky. We beat him a couple of times. But that's important, you know. So, and enthusiasm is another principle I support. All right, Ralph Waldo Emerson, the poet, said, "Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm." I believe that. You got to, whatever it is, not that you're doing jumping jacks, but whatever you got to give it your best. That's so important. Enthusiasm. Another thing is persistence. A guy named Calvin Coolidge, president. Right? They laugh at him. He was really nondescript, you know, wasn't really a famous president. But he said one of the famous things he ever said was this, and it's one of my favorite quotes. He said, "Nothing in the world will take the place of persistence. Talent will not. There's nothing more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Education will not. All right? The world is full of educated derelicts. Genius will not take the place of it. Unrewarded genius is almost a problem." He said, "Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent, all powerful." So if you're persistent, and you're determined, and we're going to get there, might not happen right away, all right, you can do great things. So persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Another principle is important is you got to be creative. I was at Xavier, we didn't have football. Didn't have football for 20 years. So we had a young man to come in from Michigan. The week before, he was at the Michigan State football game. 110,000 people. 110,000. So he says to me on Saturday morning, he says, "Coach, who are we playing football this weekend?" So I said, "We got to buy this weekend. But next weekend. We got a big game next weekend." So after about an hour later, I you know, my Irish Catholic guild, you know, I sorry, I forget his name, but I said, "No, we dropped football, you know, right around the Russian Revolution, a long time ago." But be creative. But we did tell him the truth after about an hour. Another thing, you got to have fun. Life's too short. You got to have fun. You got to enjoy. You got to work hard. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. You got to have fun. That's so important, whatever you do. You know, I was walking in here, if I can brief story, and a guy, a local media guy, says to me, he says, "You Pete Gillen?" I'm surprised he recognized. He says, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Did you coach in both the ACC and the Big East?" He said, "Yeah." "You mean you coach against Coach K and Roy Williams from North Carolina and Gary Williams from Maryland and Jim Boeheim from Syracuse? You go against him? Are you? Yeah." "And Big John Thompson from Georgetown?" "Yeah, I coach against him." "And Jim Calhoun, you know, who, you know, he gets up, he's ticked off when he's eating cereal." "Yeah, Calhoun, yeah." He says, "Man, how'd you sleep at night?" I said, "I slept just like a baby. Woke up every 2 hours and I cried." That's how I slept. One last story. I know people want to get home and see North Carolina, you know, NCIS. My wife's got 800 shows she watches. Oh my God. Right? We're in a competitive world. We are. We're in a competitive world. And one story about a gentleman from the southwest part of the country. He's a multi-millionaire. Loaded, had tons of money, but the people in this town, small town in the Southwest, they didn't work. They were lazy. They couldn't work, but they were lazy. So he wanted to teach them a lesson. So he brought him to this big ranch that he had, and he had a big swimming pool, and the swimming pool was off limits, and a band playing music, and in the bottom of the swimming pool, there's 12 alligators who hadn't eaten, all right, in 10 days. So after people are drinking and partying, about 400 people, they brings them around the pool, and he says, "I'm really disgusted with you. I was a competitor. I had a scratching floor, and I had nothing. I'm a multi-millionaire, and, you know, I had a fight and scratch, and right here in the pool, there's 12 alligators. They haven't eaten now in 10 days, and I had to jump in the pool and fight alligators, get to the top. If anybody has the guts and courage to jump in the pool, swim the length of the pool, all right, and survive, okay, I'm going to give them one of three things: $1 million in cash, my daughter's hand in marriage, or a deed to this beautiful ranch. Whatever they want. So he just wiped out. None of the people are competitive as I am. I'm a competitor. Turned around, splash. Somebody's in the pool. And all of a sudden, all right, the alligators, I had 10 days, they hadn't eaten, they go swim to the top. The guy started swimming, and the band's playing, the women are fainting, the guy's swimming, alligators start biting him, and there's blood flashing all over, and he's swimming, and his alligator's going over, he's fighting, and people are fainting, and the music's going. True story. I embellish a little bit. He's going all the way. After 22 minutes, a guy emerged victoriously out of the pool, and his suit was ripped, and he had alligator teeth mark on his arm, and his blood all over the place. So the guy who owned the ranch, I can't believe it, somebody's competitive, he says, come on over here. He said, man, what do you want? You want $1 million in cash right now, a deed to this beautiful ranch, or my daughter's hand in marriage and inherit everything? What do you want? The guy cannot talk. He says, I want to know who pushed me in the pool. So, what is it? Like coaching basketball. Coaching basketball is like jumping in the pool with 12 alligators who haven't eaten for 10 days, right? And that's it. That's what coaching basketball was. It's, you watch it, you know. I'd like to leave one last story, and I appreciate your patience. A little story about a little boy. He walks into a flower shop. Little guy, he's like 7 years old. He walks in, and he, has just a couple of, and a man who owns a store says, what do you want? So I said, I want to buy some flowers for my mother. Said, okay. How much you got? He says, well, look at this. I got 10, 17 cents. There's an elderly gentleman there whose anniversary. He's listened to the stories. The gentleman was retired. And he says to the little boy himself, he says, I'm sorry, son, you can't have, can't sell you any flowers for 17 cents. They're too expensive. So the little boy put his head down and walked out the store. He felt badly. And the older gentleman who was going to buy something for his wife for their anniversary listened and says, come on back here, young man. What do you want? He says, I want to get some flowers. So he says, okay, here, we'll get you a dozen flowers, put it on my bill, he says to the man on the store. So the gentleman felt pretty good. He's driving home, the elderly gentleman. He's driving by a cemetery, and he looks, and he sees the same little boy who's in the store at a grave putting the 12 flowers that he got from the man, beautiful flowers, on a gravesite. He says, wow, what's this? Not right. So he parked the car, walked over to the gravesite. He says, son, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm giving these flowers to my mom. He said, what do you mean? Well, she died 6 months ago, and I try to come visit her once every week to give her something to plant or something, some little thing just to, and she loved the flowers. She says, they're beautiful. And so the man, really felt very badly. He says, okay, son, I'm sorry to hear that. So he goes back to the florist, and he says to the man, he says, hey, that little boy here, well, he just was putting some flowers on his mom's gravesite. And he told him the cemetery and where the plot was. He said, every month I want you to put something, a plant, some flowers on that woman's gravesite. And he said to the man who owned the store, the elderly gentleman, says, you don't know what you have until it's gone. You don't know how lucky you are to have what you have until you lose it, until it's gone. And I think that saying, you don't know what you have till it's gone, applies to me, certainly. I think everybody here in the room. You're lucky to have what you have. You have a great basketball program. You got a wonderful college. You have great people here, terrific players that are good people besides being good athletes. You're lucky to have what you have. And every day is a treasure. Every day is a gift. Don't take it for granted. You see the terrible things that happen in the world. We got a crazy world today with things happen with hurricane and tornado in Puerto Rico and the Las Vegas, terrible things that happen there. So every day is a treasure. Every day is a gift to enjoy that. So I want you to do me a favor. When you go home tonight, when you see your loved one, your mom, your dad, your significant other, all right, your son, your daughter, whoever it might be, tell that person, hey, you're special and I love you, all right? Because you don't know what you have until it's gone. UB Brown, who worked at the 5-Star many years, he used to say, don't forget to say hello before it's time to say goodbye. That was UB saying, and I think that's a great truth. So I want to thank you for your time. I think it's a great evening tonight. A lot of schools all over the country would love to have an affair like this. You have a great coaching staff. I think they're going to have a terrific year. All right, we might never lose. I might have to scratch that, but that's a little bit of hyperbole. That's a little bit of Irish malarkey, but that's you are who you are. You know what I mean? But thank you for inviting me. It was a great evening, and thanks for your time.